All right, so interlace your hands behind your head so you really protect your neck here, and just keep that grip tight on your hands, and use your hands to lift your head off the floor. Hold here, push down through your lower back. So push your back into the floor, engage your core, and come up enough that you're using your core to do it. Keep you start to feel your belly engage. Keep your chin lifted so that you could almost imagine hitting an orange or maybe even a grapefruit underneath your chin. Elbows out to the side. And now we're gonna pulse, lifting your shoulder blades even farther up off the ground. So keeping that chin lifted, the elbows out, the lower back smush to the floor, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep coming up. And if you feel your neck strained, then relax your neck and use your hands to hold your head and your core to lift it, not your neck muscles. Keep going. Tell me when it starts to get hot. Hot? All right, take a breath. So pause, take a moment. If it feels like it's burning in not a good way, take a breath in. Come back to your intention, that feeling that you want to feel today. Push down through your lower back, lifting your head up, using your core and your hands. And then we're going to do again another short 30 seconds or so of pulsing. So pulsing your upper back off the floor. Keep going. 10 more seconds here. And if it gets a little too much, just hold it. Good. And release. Bend your knees, lift your hips up off the floor. So a little back bend here, lift your hips up. And release, bring them down. Separate your toes, push down through your feet, lift up. And yep, feet are apart, push down onto the floor so they stabilize you almost. We'll do one more here. Feet on the floor, lift your hips up. Good. And then release. Bring it back down. Bend your knees, pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock here. Good. All right. Your arms can stay on the ground. Bring your toes to touch the floor. So lift your heels up. So you're engaging your legs and your ankles here. Push down through the floor with your back, and I want you to lift your legs up. You're going to lift your legs up, keep them bent, and then tap them down on the floor. So you're going to lift and lower those legs. Good. Tap and then come up. And now when we bring it back down to tap, it's okay. So you keep your knees bent like they are. That's perfect. Lift your heels off the floor so that it's mostly your toes. Perfect. Push down on your back, core engage, and then lift those feet off the floor, but keep your knees bent. Yeah, there you go. So lift up and then tap and bring them back up. So you're going to go tap and bring it back up. Perfect. So you kind of do it quickly enough that you can use some momentum. And now we're going to adjust it so when you tap your feet, widen your stance so that it's the width of the mat, and then bring up, and then when you bring them back down, they come back to be tighter. So now then they're like a smaller, they're like a few inches away from each other. So your feet tap wide, and then your feet tap narrow. The whole time, keeping that lower back as tight as you can to the floor, because that's what's going to engage your core. Good. Tell me when you start to feel it, All right, last 3, 2, 1, and 1. Beautiful, and release. Walk your knees together and your feet out wide. Your feet can be the width of the mat. Your hands can be out on the floor, or you can place your hands on your belly. And then keeping your feet where they are, drop your knees over towards the left side. So you're going to feel a little bit of a twist and kind of angle things in a way that feels like it's supportive and protective of your knee joints. Twisting those knees to that left side. You can turn your gaze towards the right to stretch your neck. And then grounding your feet to the floor, drop your knees over to the opposite side, gazing towards the other side. Good. And come back to the center. Pull your right leg up so that you hold on to the back of your right leg. Like the back. Good. And just bend and straighten that right knee. So lift and lower that right knee. Good. And as you straighten it, see if you can make it a little straighter, a hair straighter each time. Good. We'll do 3 more here. Bend and straighten. And then keep it straight and hold here. Straight. Flex your toe. So point that toe towards your face a little bit. That's a point. Good. Now flex. So bring your toes to point towards so that you can look right at the tip of your toe. There you go. Good. Make circles with that foot. So draw circles with your right toes. Good. And then release. Let your hands come down. Let that leg come out straight. And you can keep that left knee to bend, just to sort of let the focus be on that right leg relaxing. And then engage that right leg. Lift it up a few inches off the floor and lift and lower like a 2x4. So lift and lower that right leg. Push your lower back to the floor. Engage your core again. Lift and lower that right leg. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. About a foot? Good question. About a foot off the ground. You know, there could be a soft bend in that knee, but mostly straight there. Good. Pushing your lower back to the floor. Feel it in your core, right? Push down through your left foot. Yeah. We haven't even done this one. Good. And then release. Let it go. Take a deep breath in through your nose, kind of breathing in that thing that you want, that feeling that you want to feel. And then we're going to do the other side. So bend that right knee. Bring your hands behind your left leg. And you're going to lift and lower that left leg. Good. Lift and lower. And when you elevate it and stretch it out up straight, see if you can notice how straight it's becoming, like kind of where your point is of extension. Good. And then hold it up straight. So go ahead and flex those toes, pointing those toes towards your face. Keep pulling, so engaging here. Good. And then release, letting it go. Straighten it out, so let it flop down to the floor. And we're gonna rest it before we start elevating it up, just like we did on the other side. So push down through your right foot. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit so your whole back is flush against the floor and the mat. And then we're gonna lift that left leg up and down. So it's gonna go up about a foot and a half off the floor with control. And when you feel your lower back lifting off the floor, you want to engage your core to push it back down. Eight, 7, 6, 5 more. 2, 1, good. And then release. How does that feel now? Yeah, I bet, tired. Now can you crawl your feet to be touching? So the bottoms of your feet to come together. Your knees can be bent. So just kind of feel where how big that diamond shape it needs to be with your legs. Noticing the sensations on the bottom of your feet as they touch. Maybe you rock a little bit side to side in this position if that feels okay on your legs and your back. Opening your knees out wide, coming back to the center. And let those knees fall apart again, this time pushing the bottoms of your feet together. And maybe you engage pushing your feet together a little bit harder. And then relax. Again, pushing your feet together. And then relax your knees. Again, pushing your feet together. And then let them go. And here you can make that diamond a little bit bigger, sliding your feet out a little bit further, maybe even applying some pressure onto your feet, like onto the floor, so that your knees you can feel it in your hips. Good. And then take your hands on the outer part of your thighs. Pull those knees together and tuck your knees in towards your chest. And give yourself a little squeeze. And then let your legs be out straight. So in a really neutral pose. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, relax your left arm. Deep breath in. Exhale, relaxing your right arm. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, letting your whole body feel a little bit heavier.